All right, so the Portland Trailblazers pulled out a good win last night over the Phoenix Suns in overtime. Really good game down to the wire. If you were able to watch the whole thing, my first takeaway from it is Damian Lillard actually looks back. Um, After last season, I know a lot of people wrote him off. They were like, "Oh, like Dame's done, Dame's cooked, whatever." Some people wanted to say, I'm not gonna say it was the majority, but some people were kind of writing him off. And then myself, even at the start of the season, after watching the first game, and I know you can't overreact to the first game, but he did look a little off, But I'm glad to see him bounce back in the second game, especially doing the things that he does, delivering in the clutch time for his team. I think he finished with like 41. His shot looked smooth. He's hitting the long ball like he usually does. He just looked like Dame again, and I'm just really glad that he's able to get back to that level. You know. Next, I want to touch on their new backcourt mate, the new starting backcourt mate, in Anthony Simons. Um, I have high expectations for him. I think he is a future star in this league. I think he will be an all-star guard for years to come. Kind of once Dame kind of hands the torch over to him at some point. I think he's one of the future stars in this league. He has started off just a little shaky this season. Granted, it's only 2 games. But I think it's just him getting adjusted to playing full time with Dame. I think usually he last season and the seasons before he's never actually been on the court with Dame all that much. So I think he's really just getting adjusted to that, and give him 10, 20 games or something like that. I think he'll be really in the flow of things, and I think they'll actually work together as a backcourt long term. I think they'll be able to transition to Ant being the top guy. Probably Shaden Sharp will be in that mix as well, and Dame will be able to kind of gracefully, finish his career with the Portland Trailblazers, whether he ends up doing like a six-man role thing. I think he has the humility and the relationship with like Anthony Simons to be able to, like I said, gracefully kind of move into a different role as his career goes on. And then another thing about the Trailblazers that I want to touch on, that I think wasn't getting enough attention this season, coming up into the season, was their depth is actually really, really good. I like the pieces that they added. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that they're going to be I think at best they'll be a top 6 seed, and that's if some stuff breaks their way. But I think that that's their ceiling as a top 6 seed. But I think their depth is insane. I think guys like Gary Payton Jr. that they picked up, they went and traded for Jeremy Grant. Nurkic is back. I love the Josh Hart pickup last season. Um, who else do they have? They have Nazir Little. I really like him. They got the number 7 pick in Shaden Sharp. They have a lot of options. Only thing they're lacking a little bit is I think like a good backups. Well, not even a backup center. They have the young guy Trendon Watford. I think that they're really built, you know, to still be competitive right now. But I think they're really built for that future look. I think those young guys that they have, they're getting some experience. They're locking some of those guys up for contracts. I know Nazir Little just got a contract extension. So I really like this team. I know a lot of people coming into the season were saying like they were just making a mistake by the moves that they made. But I honestly like it. They got a little mix of veterans and a little mix of young guys. And while they're probably not championship contenders, I do think that they're setting themselves up to kind of build a good culture moving forward with a lot of young pieces who are gonna be battle tested and proven. Um, After hopefully them trying to be competitive over these next few years. I don't think them tanking out was ever going to be the right choice for them, especially when you got a guy who wants to stay loyal to Damian Lillard. So I think they've made some good moves despite what the general consensus is. And then to kind of finish this off, I do just want to get back to the actual game tonight. I think that this team fits really well. I think everybody is kind of figuring out where they need to go, kind of what the pecking order is on this team. It doesn't seem like they're selfish. It seems like they all just want to win. And I think a lot of people talk about that, but not enough teams are actually playing that way. Like, I think Jeremy Grant took 5 shots tonight. Jamie Grant was when he was on the court in Detroit was taking like 15 shots a game. So for him to come here and be able to play his role, he did what I think they need him to do is guard the best guy on the floor, which either he was on Chris Paul or he was on Devin Booker, and he did an amazing job. And, shoot the shot when he's open and not necessarily force things or try to really create too much because you have guys like Dame and Ant that can create, and even Nurkic a little bit. So I think they have guys that really played their role, and Chauncey Billups has these guys playing really well, especially defensively. I think getting Dame to try and get in the stands, getting Anthony Simons to somewhat make an effort, although I think he needs to improve. But I think these guys are playing really good basketball. I love their team. I'm trying to think who else. Just even the guys coming off the bench, they're not getting that many minutes. I thought Nas Little would probably get a little more minutes, but even in the limited stuff that he gets, he's playing great. He's playing his role. Josh Hart playing his role. He does what he's supposed to do. He rebounds. He gets after it. He gets on the floor for loose balls. Nurkic looks like he's almost back to, the top of where he's been at in his game. He looks like he's playmaking well. He rebounded phenomenally last night. He was getting to the free throw line a lot, and he was hitting them. I think he only missed one late in the clutch. Um, you know, and then I love that Dame trusted Anthony Simons late in the game with the game winner. They were kind of trapping Dame because obviously they want to get the ball out of his hands, and like he did with CJ, he gave it up with no problem. Which I love about Dame, as clutch as he is late in the ball game, he doesn't have a problem giving it to his guy, which he did, and Anthony Simons delivered. I think that was a huge confidence boost, especially because Ant hasn't been shooting the ball as well as I'm sure he would like to. But again, it's the start of the season. It's only 2 games. I think he'll pick it up for sure. He's way too good of a shooter. But that was really positive. A positive thing that I saw was he gave that ball up, which showed that he has trust in Ant, and Ant delivered. But again, an overall great win for the Portland Trail Blazers over the Phoenix Suns. I think that they're probably going to surprise a lot of people. Again, I don't think that they're going to be a top 4 or 5 seed, but I think a lot of people have written them off. And honestly, these first 2 games I thought were going to be losses for them, and they were able to pull them out. Both of them were close games, granted, but either way, they're finding ways to win games. And I think in the NBA, that's the most important thing, is you have to find a way to win. So regardless of how you win, a win is a win. So they started their season 2-0. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. So we'll see, man. Appreciate y'all watching. Till next time.